Good morning and welcome. It's 10 o'clock. It is the second day of May. It is Beltane 2021. I am your grumpy guide to all things gaming. Also, if you're a fan of the Shadowrun series, this is Goblin Week. So if you don't know what that means, this is the week in the Shadowrun timeline when the disease reality shift hit and turned 20% of all the humans on the planet into goblinoids, orcs, trolls, goblins, elves, things like that. So this is the week in the Shadowrun timeline. Just bizarre information you probably don't know or care about. Let's talk about NPCs. So this week we were going to talk about NPC plot armor on Legion of Myth. It didn't happen, so I decided to take the initiative and run with it and talk about NPC plot armor. We've discussed the lives and times and of NPCs before several times on this vlog, and the perception that NPCs are basically experience points pinatas in games, and the idea of murder hobos just blatantly attacking NPCs for no reason whatsoever, and what, if anything, you, the DM, can do to save them. So first, let's address the NPC's plot armor, which is a concept you see a lot more in like books and video games, and that's basically an NPC who cannot die. A bad guy NPC who at the last second runs away. That's one I've used, usually but only to move a plot along, and then I usually give them a chance to kill that NPC the second time. An NPC that just cannot die, no matter what happens, for whatever reason, an NPC who cannot be hurt or be hurt but can't really die. Perfect example are the NPCs from the old Avatar trilogy from TSR when they switched from second to third edition. Cyric, Celeborn, Midnight, those guys could not be hurt because their destiny was already written out. You were playing through the Avatar trilogy. You were playing through the events that changed the world from second edition to third edition. You were playing through the fall of the gods and how Midnight, Cyric, and Celeborn and other individuals became the new gods. But until that event happened, there was literally nothing that you could do to affect the lives of Celeborn, Midnight, and Cyric. I mean, you could drop an entire mountain on them. They'd be okay. I remember playing through the trilogy, and several times my character tried to kill Cyric because he was just a jerk and couldn't. And by the end of the second module, going into the third of the trilogy, we were all just like, screw it. And we would just hide behind Midnight because we knew nothing could happen to her. So Dragon could breathe. We just, well, she's fine. She soaked up all the damage. Nothing happened. Let's go get that dragon. So, yeah. Another example, the Dragonlance modules. If you play through the Dragonlance modules, nothing can happen to the characters. Nothing can happen to Tristan and Celeborn and whatever the guy's name, Raceland. No, just nothing. Another perfect example, Drizzt. Nothing can happen to Drizzt. I mean, the guy can take on 1,000 orcs and walk away and just like, oh, I got a scratch. Yeah, so those are perfect examples of NPCs in video games and role-playing and novels that just, they can't happen. And I don't think NPCs should have plot armor. Even if an NPC is categorically important to the story, there should still be a possibility that player characters can just yank the rug out from underneath you, DM, and do something that you completely don't expect, which endangers the life of the NPC or even kills them. In the adventure I'm writing right now, I do use a bit of plot armor for one of the NPCs, where they run away or something like that, but that's more just to get a chase scene going, or it's because it's a logical choice for the NPC. But I do give options that, well, if you choose to follow them, these are the ways you can follow them, and if you don't have any of those options available to you, then he gets away. So I guess that counts as plot armor, but I think more, logically, if you're going to use the NPC gets away so he can fight you another time, well, assume that there's going to be a way that the player characters are going to figure that out. So give them options. If you do this, you might be able to catch up with him because she did that. Whatever. I don't know. Support me, Munster. But by and large, everybody can die. Everybody dies. So if the player characters can figure out a way to get around the plot armor and successfully kill the NPC, give it to them. I mean, it happened in my Freeport campaign, and it upset me for a second, but then I moved on. And then they ended up getting the NPC back to life after all because they liked him. But there was other NPC when I ran Freeport who shouldn't have died, and they killed him, and I was just like, I guess his assistant carries on for him. So yeah, I mean, it's possible that an NPC can die and should not have plot armor. But unfortunately, that then leaves the other door open, that NPCs are just experience points pinatas, and there's no punishment. Sorry, my brain went blank there for a second. No punishment if players kill NPCs. I've run several games over the past couple of years where basically NPCs were experience points pinatas. I've already given the example of how they attacked a guy in a town who was trying to sell them a horse. Literally, that was his job. And because they didn't like his attitude, they just killed the guy. And they were like, well, there's not going to be any response. Nobody's going to care if we kill this guy. And I was like, no, people are upset. You might start seeing wanted posters for your characters pop up soon. So yeah, what's to stop them from just using NPCs as experience points pinatas? Hashtag experience points pinatas is now trending. I'm copywriting that. All right, so there's a couple ideas that have percolated to the top of the collective unconsciousness of gamers to sort of dissuade us players from just slaughtering NPCs. And of course, the first and foremost is it's against the law. If you're in the village and you're killing the NPCs, there's gonna be responses. I mean, no matter how old west the city is, I killed a man for breathing. Wanted posters are going to stop popping up. People are going to stop posting bounties. Other adventurers, NPC or other player character adventurers, are going to hear about these characters killing people in the town and respond appropriately. They're going to contact the law. They're going to form bounty hunters. They're going to form posses. They're going to contact other adventurers. They're going to make it more difficult for the adventurers to stay in the town by raising prices and closing doors to them and treating them basically the same way they would treat the monsters if they came into town. You're acting like villains. We're going to treat you like villains. I'm not going to let you in my store for fear of my life. And if I do let you in my store, I'm going to charge you way above what I should charge you because you're bad for business. So that's one way. Another way is just, people are too used to the NPCs in video games, where if you kill them, they just respawn in 20 minutes. Well, in the real world, NPCs don't respond. So if you go into the store and kill the store guy, let's use the example of the horse seller. They kill the horse seller, they kill the stable guy. That guy doesn't come back from the dead. The stable guy is now dead, which means there's nobody running that stable. There's nobody feeding their horses. People are going to notice he's dead. It's not like he respawns. Somebody else is either going to try and take the job, or they're going to report that the stable owner was murdered. And then later on, if the player characters wanted to come back and go to the stable and do stable stuff, they can't because they killed the guy. You can't go to the blacksmith and do your blacksmith stuff because you killed the blacksmith last adventure. And nobody else wants to take his job because either A, they're not skilled, or B, they know you killed the last blacksmith. So the blacksmith just remains empty and has probably been looted by now. And the third option is also a very video game option, which is NPCs level with the players. I don't remember where I first saw this. I can't be the first person that thought of this, but it's the idea that the more you visit an NPC, the more you establish a reputation with the NPC. In response to the rewards for visiting that NPC will increase. The more your reputation, this is again video games, the more your reputation gets higher, the more access you have to better stuff. You first walk into the shopkeeper, you just got normal shop stuff. You buy some shit, you sell some shit, you move along. But you didn't kill the guy, which means he gets some more experience. Your reputation with the shopkeeper goes up. So the next time you come back and buy shit, sell shit, talk to him, he might have better stuff. Like the first time you went in, he didn't have healing potions, But the second time you come in, he might have healing potions. The third time you come in, he might have better levels of equipment. He might even start getting low-level magic shit. Fifth, sixth, eighth time you come in to that shop and you keep working with that shopkeeper and your reputation with that shopkeeper and that town increases, that shopkeeper is going to have better stuff for them to deal with. And they're going to be all excited like, oh, he's got spells and a magic wand and a magic loofah and a, solid gold bathtub. And, stuff that my 8th level dude might want. He's got, because I've been here enough shit, he's got 8th level shit. So, yeah. There's definitely should be rewards to keep the NPCs alive. But if they want to kill them, the NPCs should not have plot armor. But there should be responses to their actions. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you're killing the NPCs, that means they're gone. There's no one there to do their jobs anymore. And people are going to respond to you killing villagers in the same way they would in Grand Theft Auto / real life. Your wanted level goes up. You're less likely to get positive reactions from NPCs. Bounties are going to start being posted for your characters. People are going to start coming to look for your characters because you're a threat to the safety of the city / country / world. You're acting exactly the same way the bad guys are, but you're a lot easier to kill than a dragon, and you have about the same amount of stuff. So, yeah, what's to stop my NPC bounty hunters from coming after you? So, yeah, NPC plot armor, NPCs as experience points, pinatas. NPCs are just people, and people matter. The lives of those people matter. They're the engine that runs the world when your player characters aren't around. If you don't have Bill the blacksmith and Susan the farmer, where's the food coming from and who's making the horseshoes? Support me, Monster. I need a sponsor, and I will sell out. That is the my take on the topic of NPC plot armor and the lives and times of NPCs. If you appreciate this content, please subscribe. Help me hit 400 subs. I will talk to you later. It's Sunday, so go outside.